The autumn air carries the sharp, bitter scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, a reminder that winter is clawing its way back into the world. I walk with practiced, deliberate steps toward the massive, ancient oak tree nestled deep within the most secluded corner of the park. Not many people come out this far. Most lack the curiosity to explore, or perhaps they are simply afraid of what lies beyond the safety of the paved walking paths. No one can really blame them, honestly. This particular area serves as the jagged borderline separating the town's park from the dense, suffocating expanse of the old forest. Local parents have spent generations weaponizing these woods against their children. "Don't go past the oak tree," they would warn, their voices dropping to a dramatic whisper. "There are monsters in there." I roll my eyes at the memory, a faint, cynical smirk tugging at my lips. If the monsters in there were half as romanticized as pop culture, I'd gladly buy a front row ticket. It would certainly beat standing here alone in the freezing cold. A thick wall of overgrown brambles and thorn bushes blocks my advance. I push my way through regardless, refusing to let nature turn me back. The sharp thorns snag aggressively, the fabric tearing with soft, protesting pops. I ignore the slight sting against my skin. The physical discomfort is nothing compared to the weight pulling at my chest. 5 more meters. I quicken my pace, my sneakers crunching loudly against the twigs. 4 meters. The silence of the woods amplifies the sound of my own body. 3 meters. "I'm coming, Kate, I'm almost there." 2 meters. A sudden, terrifying wave of doubt washes over me. Will you be there this time? Will this be the year? 1 meter. I stop just before the final, heavy branch. I close my eyes tight, drawing in a shaky breath before reaching out to push the last layer of foliage aside. I take a deep, steadying breath and force my eyes open. There it is, the oak tree. After all these years, it hasn't changed. Though it seems to have grown taller, its massive canopy reaching upward like giant, skeletal fingers stretching toward the gray November sky. Admittedly, this place is the perfect setting to shoot a low-budget horror movie. The quiet here is heavy, almost absolute, but to me it is beautiful. To my right, the dense trees part to reveal a small, hidden clearing. The grass there is softer, shielded from the elements. The perfect, idyllic place for a picnic. I used to take her there. We would lay out a blanket and lose track of the hours. Thinking of her brings a sharp ache to my throat, reminding me of my main objective. Today is November 13th. I am here to meet her again. You keep telling yourself that exact same phrase every single year. A cynical voice whispers from the dark corners of my mind. She's gone. She left you behind. She completely forgot you. No, stop, just stop. I shake my head aggressively, physically trying to drive the dark thoughts away. She will come, won't she? Every year for the past 10 years on this exact same date, I have journeyed to this spot. It is our sanctuary, the sacred ground where our story first began. The memory hits me with the vivid warmth of a summer sun, transporting me back a decade. I had just finished my very last day of junior year, right before the Thanksgiving holiday. The moment the final bell rang, I didn't waste a second. I grabbed my bicycle from the racks and pedaled furiously toward the park, the crisp autumn wind whipping through my hair. I parked my bike haphazardly against a fence near the entrance and ran on foot all the way to the very back of the grounds. My chest was bursting with absolute excitement. No more school for a whole week. And more importantly, I could finally spend an uninterrupted day drawing this beautiful, hidden oasis. I slid down against the base of the massive oak tree, breathing heavily, and eagerly flipped open my sketchbook. Drawing was my passion. I poured my soul into the pages. Every person who ever saw my drawings would stare, completely mesmerized. My mom used to smile, kiss the top of my head, and tell me I was destined to be the next Claude Monet. I was arrogant enough to believe she was right. "It's beautiful." A soft, melodic voice murmured from nowhere. I startled violently. My hand jerked, sending my drawing pencil flying out of my grip and into the tall grass. I groaned, instantly annoyed at having my solitude broken. "I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean to scare you," the girl said quickly, her voice laced with genuine regret. Without waiting for an invitation, she stepped through the brush and took a seat right beside me on the dirt. "I'm Catherine." She extended a slender, delicate hand toward me. "It's okay," I stammered,
my annoyance evaporating the moment I looked at her. I didn't think anyone else knew this place existed. Oh, and I'm Alessandra. I'm lost, actually, she admitted, looking around the secluded canopy before offering me a shy, embarrassed smile. A soft giggle escaped my lips. Her sheepish expression was absolutely adorable. For the next half hour, a comfortable silence settled between us. I focused back on my sketchbook, my pencil flying with renewed energy, while Kate sat quietly beside me, immersing herself in a book. When I finally lifted my pencil, the drawing was complete. It depicted a herd in the quiet meadow. How could you draw them so perfectly when they aren't even here? She asked, closing her book and tracing the lines of the fawns with a delicate fingertip. I just use my imagination. I explained softly, watching the way the filtered sunlight caught the edge of her face. Do you like it? You can have it if you want. Really? Her entire face lit up, her eyes wide with disbelief. I love deer. They're my absolute favorite animal. She carefully tore the page from the binding, holding it as if it were made of fragile glass, and thanked me 1,000 times over. Our very first encounter ended far too quickly. A sharp, loud ringing broke the peace as her phone came to life. It was her mother, ordering her to come home immediately for dinner. We stood up, brushing the dirt from our clothes, and bid our goodbyes. Before she turned to leave, she promised to meet me right here at the tree the very next day. Watching her walk away, I felt like I was floating. I couldn't have been happier. Standing in the present, a bittersweet smile forms on my face as the memory fades. That was our beginning. From that day forward, the spot became our shared universe. We played, we talked, we grew up together. Kate was, without a doubt, a stunning girl. She possessed the brightest, most piercing blue eyes, like looking into a clear winter sky. She had brains, too. She could debate literature and history for hours. One afternoon, after she had effortlessly solved a complex puzzle, I jokingly told her she needed to participate in the Miss America pageant. She had laughed so hard she choked, throwing an eraser at me and telling me I was completely nuts. Yet those superficial traits weren't the reasons I fell so deeply in love with her. It was the quiet elegance of her kind heart. She was fiercely down to earth, holding a sense of fidelity and understanding that made me feel completely safe. What I loved most of all was her warm smile. Every single time she flashed that smile in my direction, my heart would violently skip a beat, and my knees would go entirely weak. I stepped closer to the ancient oak tree, my eyes tracking down to the rough bark where our initials are permanently carved into the trunk. I was the one who carved it. I did it on the very same day I finally gathered the courage to ask her to be my girlfriend. When she had whispered her, "Yes," I felt a surge of euphoria so intense I was certain I was the happiest girl on the entire planet. Getting to that point, however, had been an agonizing journey. What if she doesn't like me back? What if she's completely disgusted by the way I look at her? What if she doesn't even like girls? Ultimately, I forced myself to make a move. I planned a private picnic in our clearing. We spent hours chatting, eating sandwiches, and drinking cans of warm soda. I smile, remembering how simple things used to be. Toward the end of the afternoon, as the sun began to dip below the tree line, Kate laid her head down on my lap. I reached out, nervously running my hand through the silk of her blonde hair, and began to softly sing a song to her. My voice trembled slightly, but I forced the words out. The moment the final note faded into the quiet air, the adrenaline took over. I leaned down, whispered that I liked her in a romantic way, and gently pressed my lips against hers. She froze, the world went dead silent. Panic seized me instantly. I pulled back, my hands fumbling violently as I began to stammer out a frantic string of apologies, terrified I had just ruined the best friendship of my life. But then, to my utter confusion, Kate burst out laughing. I sat there, completely bewildered, my face burning with humiliation. But her laughter wasn't cruel, it was filled with pure relief. A sharp, vibrating buzz shatters my reverie. My phone is going off. My heart leaps into my throat as I pull the device from my jeans pocket, a desperate, foolish hope flaring up in my chest. Did she finally text me? Is she showing up? I look at the screen. The hope plummets, replaced by a dull, familiar ache. It's just my mom. Mom, any sign of her yet? I stare at the glowing text for a long moment before my thumb slowly taps out a reply.
Alessandra, not yet. I'll text you once she's here. Mom, okay. Where are you, Kate? I cry out silently into the empty clearing. I'm still waiting for you. I can't bear the thought of waiting another long, agonizing year just to see your face again. The weight of the isolation becomes too heavy to bear. My legs give out, and I slide down the trunk of the oak tree until I am sitting in the dirt. I pull my legs tightly against my chest, burying my face between my knees, and begin to silently cry. The tears burn my eyes, slipping down my cheeks to soak into the fabric of my jeans. She's not coming. The dark voice in my head returns, mocking my tears. She forgot all about you, Alessandra. For all you know, she has a whole separate family right now, a husband or a wife. Just move on. What if she eventually shows up, only to tell you to move on, to let her go? Then I will obey her. No matter how agonizingly hard it is, if she asks me to let her go, I will. But I have to hear it from her lips. Maybe I am stupid, but falling in love and being loved in return are the best things in the entire world, and choosing to love her, that will never be stupid. I aggressively wipe the remaining tears away with the back of my hand, forcing myself to swallow the lump in my throat. I need a distraction before the sadness completely consumes me. I reach into my bag, pull out a fresh sketch pad, and decide to make another drawing. Today, I am going to draw a portrait of her. As my pencil hovers over the blank white page, a sudden wave of anxiety strikes me. I am terrified that the final result will be a cruel distortion of reality. 10 years is an incredibly long time. She has grown up, obviously. Her features will have matured, her edges sharpened by adulthood. The tragic reality is that the very last time I ever saw her face was the day after our high school graduation. The day where everything we had built turned entirely downhill. I violently shake the painful memory away, refusing to go down that dark road just yet, and force my pencil onto the paper. I begin with the delicate, sweeping outline of her face. Then I carefully map out the spacing for her piercing eyes, her sharp nose, and those full, rosy lips. As I draw, the lines blur and the cold November air fades away, dragging me backward into the final, beautiful day we shared. I love you, Kate's voice whispers, light and breathless. We are currently cuddling together on the lush green grass of our clearing, the summer heat warming our skin. She has her head resting comfortably against my shoulder, her body pressed flush against mine. I gently stroke the silky strands of her hair, closing my eyes for a brief moment to inhale the sweet, familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. I love you too, I reply, leaning down to press a soft kiss against the crown of her head. As we lay there, I occasionally sneak my right hand down toward my shorts pocket, tapping the fabric to ensure the tiny, velvet box is still securely hidden inside. Inside that box sits a beautiful, delicate diamond ring that I spent months picking out. It is meant only for her. I am entirely ready to propose to her. High school is officially over. We are just waiting for the formal graduation ceremony. After that, the future is completely mapped out. The exact same university in the fall. Business for her, literature and fine arts for me. What is going on with you in your pocket today? Kate asks suddenly, shifting her weight to look up at me. Her blue eyes are narrowed in playful suspicion. I stare down at her lovingly, my heart suddenly doing a frantic flip-flop in my chest. It's now or never, Alessandra. Come on, I say, my voice cracking slightly. I motion for her to sit up. Get up for a second. I have something important to tell you. A sudden, unexpected look of sheer horror flashes deep within her eyes, her posture instantly stiffening. Hey, relax, baby, I chuckle, quickly reaching out to soothe her, realizing how serious my tone must have sounded. I promise I am not breaking up with you. You better not, she pouts, her lower lip sticking out in a way that makes my chest ache with affection. I lean in and peck her lips gently, intending to pull back to start my speech, but Kate has other plans. She quickly circles her slender arms around my neck, pulling me back down into her, and deepens the kiss. Our lips move together in perfect, synchronized harmony. The warmth of her mouth sends a jolt of pure electricity straight down my spine. She breaks the kiss slightly, her lips tracing a burning path down to my chin, and then lower, pressing soft, lingering kisses along my jawline.
Her fingers tremble slightly as she begins to undo the first 2 buttons of my shirt. She shifts, her warm lips moving over my collarbone, pressing a deep kiss there before tracing a path downward. A ragged groan tears from my throat. The heat between us is intoxicating, but I have a purpose today. Kate. Please. I say, my voice incredibly breathy and strained. She pulls back, looking up at me through hooded eyes, her expression a mix of confusion and flushed arousal. Is something wrong? She whispers. Nothing is wrong, I assure her quickly, catching my breath and gently taking her hands in mine. Like I said just before, I really have to tell you something first. Okay, she says softly, sitting back on her heels. What is it? This is it, my time has come. I take a deep, stabilizing breath, trying to steady the frantic pounding of my pulse. I look directly into her eyes, pouring every ounce of my soul into my gaze. When I think about the future, and when I think about you, I know with absolute certainty that no one else in this world will ever hold my heart the way you do. My life would never be complete without you beside me. I promise you, Kate, no one will ever work harder to make you happy. Let's make our happy ending together. Looking straight into her beautiful, wide eyes, I say the words clearly. Catherine Marie Louise. Will you marry me? Wait, kiss me if you accept, slap me if you reject it. In hindsight, it was an incredibly silly, childish thing to say, but the nerves had completely taken over my brain. I closed my eyes tight, bracing myself, waiting in absolute, agonizing suspense. 1, 2, 3. I reach 10, I receive absolutely nothing. No kiss, no slap. Cold dread pooling in my stomach, I slowly open my eyes, only to find a completely stoic Kate sitting before me. Her face is completely blank, frozen in an emotionless mask. Then my heart shatters. A single, solitary tear escapes her eye and falls slowly down her pale cheek. I messed up. Oh no. Kate, please don't cry. I panic, completely dropping the velvet box into the grass. I rush to her side, wrapping my arms securely around her. But she doesn't stop. She keeps crying, her body shaking violently against mine as she sobs into my shoulder. I feel a sickening wave of guilt wash over me. I fucked up. I pushed too fast and ruined everything. Slowly, I cup her tear-stained face in both of my hands, forcing her to look at me. I'm so sorry, Kate. I understand if it's just too soon. We're young, I'm so sorry. Kate doesn't say a word. Instead, she leans forward and presses a gentle, lingering kiss against my cheek. You don't need to be sorry, Ale. She says, her voice incredibly raw and broken. It's not your fault at all. If there is anyone to blame for this, it should be me. I would love nothing more than to say yes to you. I would love to slide that ring onto my finger, but I can't. I tilt my head up from her lap, my brow furrowing in deep confusion. What does she mean she can't? Why? I wonder aloud. There's a secret I've been keeping from you for a long time, she whispers, looking away toward the dense forest. I have cancer, Ale. She says plainly, the words hanging heavy in the summer air. It's been in my body for about 6 months now. The doctors tell me it's just the beginning phase, but I can feel it. It's killing me slowly. The moment the words register in my brain, my heart violently sinks down to the absolute bottom of my stomach. The world around me seems to tilt on its axis. I'm really sick, Ale. She whimpers, her voice dissolving into a childlike vulnerability. Every single day. I have to take these massive pills. I can feel my body slowly giving in to the fatigue. You are never going to give up, Kate, do you hear me? I yell fiercely, tears flooding my own eyes. Fuck that cancer, you can beat this thing, we will find the best doctors, you are going to recover. She just sobs, her head shaking back and forth. It's so hard, Ale. You don't know how I feel waking up every morning and throwing my guts out. I'm so afraid you're going to leave me once it gets bad, she whispers against my neck, her voice muffled by her tears. I will never leave you, baby, I vow fiercely, tightening my grip around her waist, burying my face in her shoulder. No matter what happens, I am not going anywhere. Eventually, the clearing grows quiet again, the emotional storm passing as she exhausts herself from crying. I can hear her steady, rhythmic breathing against my chest. She has fallen asleep. I stay frozen in place, my thoughts in complete, chaotic disarray. She was in immense pain, fighting a war inside her own body, and I had been completely oblivious. A wave of intense shame washes over me. I want to punch myself squarely in the face. I want to bang my head against the rough bark of the oak tree until the physical pain drowns out the guilt. Later that night, the sky turning a dark violet, I finally drove her back to her house. I watched her walk through her front door. Then, I turned around and headed home, my mind entirely numb. The harsh, insistent vibration of my phone jolts me awake. My eyelids feel heavy, glued together by dried tears and the biting chill of the late afternoon air. I groan softly, stretching my stiff, aching arms above my head. Shivering against the wind, I pull my phone from my pocket to check the screen. It's the exact same message my mom sends every year. I stare at the glowing text for a long moment, feeling incredibly distant from her warmth. With a numb thumb, I type out a brief, solitary response. No. The sun is sinking rapidly now, bleeding a violent orange and bruised purple across the horizon. Twilight is bleeding into the secluded park, casting long, skeletal shadows. Despite the freezing cold, my eyes remain glued to the edge of the brush, desperately searching for any sign of her. A familiar silhouette, the rustle of a jacket, but there is nothing. She's not coming. Cold voice inside my head whispers, and this time I don't have the energy to fight it. It's over. I'm finally done. I am not going to waste my life waiting for her for another agonizing year. I slowly stand up on my trembling legs, brushing the dried dirt and dead leaves from my clothes. Gathering my charcoal and sketch pad, I begin packing them away with slow, mechanical movements. Lastly, I pick up my sketch pad. I look down at the portrait I just finished, examining the lines. A snapshot of my memory. Kate's bright blue eyes, her perfect smile. It's beautiful. A small, high-pitched voice says from right behind me. I startle, my heart hammering against my ribs, expecting to see a ghost. Instead, my eyes drift downward. Standing at the edge of the clearing is a little girl, wearing a thick winter coat. My name is Cassandra. She says politely, tilting her head up to look at me. With a striking amount of confidence for a child, she extends a tiny hand toward me. I'm Alessandra. I reply softly, kneeling down so I am at her eye level. Are you lost, sweetie? Where are your parents? It's getting really dark out here. The little girl shakes her head, her dark curls bouncing. No, I'm not lost. My daddy's right over there. She lifts a small arm, pointing over my left shoulder. I turn my head. Standing a few yards away, partially obscured by the shadows, is a tall man in a sharp, tailored charcoal suit that looks completely out of place in a wild park. He gives me a tight, respectful nod. It's my mommy, Cassandra whispers suddenly, her voice dropping to a quiet, reverent tone. I arch my eyebrow, completely confused. What do you mean? The little girl reaches out, her small finger pointing directly at the charcoal portrait in my hands. The picture. It's my mommy. She looks way younger there and healthier, but it's definitely her. The world completely stops. A loud, deafening roar drowns out the sound of the distant river. What is this child talking about? How could she possibly know my Kate? A sickening wave of realization crashes over me. If this little girl is Kate's daughter, and she just pointed to that man as her father, does that mean they are a family? A husband and a wife? Frantic, I study the child's small face. Dark curls, striking green eyes, but when she looks up at me and smiles nervously, the expression is an exact, terrifying replica of the woman I have spent 10 years mourning. It is Kate's smile. Excuse me, miss. A deep, controlled voice breaks through my panic. I snap my head up. The man in the suit has walked over, his footsteps completely silent on the moss. Are you Alessandra Newman? He asks, his tone cautious, almost fragile. I slowly stand up, clutching the sketchbook tightly against my chest like a shield. Yes, that's me. Do you know Catherine? He asks softly. At the mere mention of her name from a stranger's lips, my chest tightens. I do, I reply instantly. She's my first love. Is she okay? Is she here in town? Can I see her? I demand, taking a desperate step forward.
right now. She's lying in the hospital bed, he says, his voice cracking slightly. The sheer magnitude of the sadness in his eyes makes my stomach drop. Without another word, he reaches down into his leather briefcase, clicks the brass latches open, and pulls out a thick, sealed white envelope. The paper is crisp, my name written across the front in an elegant, looping cursive handwriting that I would recognize anywhere, even in the dark. He steps forward and hands it to me. "What is this?" I whisper, my fingers trembling violently against the paper. "Just read it," Michael says softly, his voice heavy with reverence. "Take your time." Before I can ask another question, he gently grabs Cassandra's small wrist, turns on his heel, and walks away, guiding the little girl back through the thick brush. Within seconds, they disappear. I stand entirely alone under the oak tree, the wind howling around me. My shaking fingers tear open the seal of the envelope. I pull out the neatly folded pages, unfold them, and begin to read.
Dear Alessandra, it's been a terribly long time, my love. I miss you every single day, and every endless night. How are you doing? How is your art? I hope with all my heart that you are happy and healthy. I cannot say the same for myself, Alessandra. To be completely honest, I am starting to lose my grip on hope entirely. I really thought that leaving California would fix everything, that the most advanced oncologists in the world would heal my broken body. In the beginning, the treatments actually worked well. I regained my strength, the pain faded, and I felt absolutely great. I even managed to finish my university studies. What about you? Did you go to art school? Are you painting the world? During those first few years, I begged my mother countless times to let me come back home to California. To come back to you. But she never allowed it. She kept telling me I was too weak, that traveling would kill me. You have absolutely no idea how many hours of my life I have spent just sitting by a window, thinking about you. I miss you so much it physically aches. I miss your kisses, your warm hugs, the sweet cadence of your voice. I know you must be wondering how I could possibly say I miss you when I never once tried to contact you. I left you hanging in the dark, waiting at our tree, entirely clueless. The truth is, the moment we landed in Zurich, my mother took my phone away. She intercepted my mail. She basically cut you out of my life with surgical precision. I tried countless times to write to you, but my mother always found out. Then, a few years ago, I suffered a massive, violent relapse. My body collapsed. That hospital is the place where I first met Michael. He took such incredible care of me, Alessandra. He still does. When the world felt entirely dark, I found a sense of safety in him. Naturally, we grew closer. My mother quickly noticed our bond and used her influence to force us into a marriage. Michael genuinely loves me. But I do not love him. Not the way I love you. My love for him is purely platonic. He is my dearest friend, but he is not my soulmate. 3 months after my 21st birthday, we were officially married. Not long after, Cassandra was born. Have you seen her yet? If you are reading this, it means Michael found you at our tree. She looks just like I did when I was a little girl. Tell me, Ale, have you moved on with your life? Have you completely forgotten about me? Do you still love me? Because God, I still love you. I never stopped. I am so incredibly sorry for what happened between us. I know I shattered your heart into a million pieces on that day. I wanted to spare you the agony of watching me wither away. But I was so terribly wrong. I would rather die incredibly young wrapped tightly in your arms than spend 1,000 lifetimes 1,000,000 kilometers away from you. I was so stupid. I was always the obedient daughter. I should have stayed by your side. But I broke my promise to you. I was never there on November 13th. Every single year, I tried desperately to find a way back to our sanctuary, but I couldn't. Either my failing health kept me trapped in a hospital bed, or my mother barred the door. I hated leaving you clueless. I hate myself for keeping you waiting in the cold for 10 long years. Most of all, I hate myself for never giving you my answer. My time is running dangerously low now. The monitors are ticking, and my breathing is shallow. I don't know if my body will hold out long enough for me to see your beautiful face one last time. I beg for your pardon. For all my mistakes. I love you. Always have, always will. Yours truly, Kate.
I stare down at the final page in my trembling hands, my vision completely blurred. The crisp white paper is instantly soaked beneath the frantic downpour of my tears. I cannot hold the weight of reality anymore. My knees buckle, giving out entirely, and I crash hard onto the dirt beneath the tree. What does this mean? Is she leaving me for good? Is she dying right now? She cannot do this to me, not like this, not after 10 years of silence. I have to see her. I need to look into her blue eyes one last time. A raw, primal scream tears from my throat, echoing loudly through the empty park. The sound is filled with 10 years of suppressed agony. Driven by pure adrenaline, I force myself onto my feet, throw my backpack over my shoulder, and begin sprint running through the thick brush. The thorns claw aggressively at my skin, but I don't feel a single thing. I burst through the tree line and scan the gravel parking lot frantically. There. Near the exit, a sleek black Audi is idling, its brake lights glowing in the twilight. I sprint across the asphalt, my chest burning, and throw myself against the passenger side of the car. I knock heavily on the tinted glass window, my knuckles bruising against the pane. Slowly, the window rolls down. Michael looks up at me from the passenger seat, his expression guarded but understanding. "Take me to her," I demand, my voice raw and unyielding. "Please." Michael doesn't say a word. He simply offers a slow nod of his head and gestures toward the back door. "Get in." I slide into the leather back seat, my body trembling all over. Cassandra is sitting right next to me in her car seat, completely oblivious to the emotional hurricane destroying my soul. We exchange absolutely no words. The silence inside the cabin is heavy, almost suffocating. The only sound cutting through the tension is the soft, innocent humming of little Cassandra. "Are we visiting Mommy now, Daddy?" Cassandra asks suddenly, breaking the long silence. Her small voice sounds incredibly fragile in the quiet car. Michael turns his head slightly, offering her a soft, protective smile that doesn't even come close to reaching his sorrowful green eyes. "Yes, Princess, we're going to see Mommy." Is she going to die? If she dies, will I have to read Peter Pan on my own before bed? And what if I have a nightmare? She won't be there to comfort me anymore. I love my mommy so much. A few minutes later, the sedan smoothly pulls into the sterile ambulance bay of the city hospital. We exit the vehicle into the freezing night air. Michael carefully cradles his sleeping daughter in his broad arms, her face still tear-stained. We walk through the sliding glass doors, the sudden blast of warm, artificial air carrying the sharp, unmistakable scent of bleach. We ride the elevator to the oncology floor in absolute silence. The rhythmic beep of distant heart monitors echoes down the hallway as we navigate the sterile white corridors. Finally, we stop right outside room 404. "She loves you, Alessandra." Michael blurts out suddenly, his back turned to me as he stares at the wooden door. I freeze mid-step, my breath catching in my throat. He knows. "She talks about you constantly," Michael says softly, turning around. His green eyes are bloodshot. "I've known for a very long time that she doesn't love me the way she loves you. Before the wedding, I begged her mother to cancel it, but she threatened to completely destroy my medical career. A year later, Cassandra was born. We were doing fine. Until one night, I walked into our bedroom and caught Kate crying hysterically on the floor. She was clutching 2 pieces of paper. One paper was her latest medical report. The cancer had aggressively returned, and it was terminal. But in her other hand, she was holding a sketch of her petting a deer. My heart shatters all over again. I remember that drawing perfectly. It was the special anniversary gift I had given her, packaged nicely alongside a delicate gold necklace I had saved up for months to buy. She told me about her final wish. She wanted to come back here to this town to meet you one last time, just to look you in the eyes and give you her answer. I asked her what the question was, but she would never tell me. Since that night, I have worked 3 times harder, doing everything humanly possible to keep her stable, just so I could finally bring her back across the ocean to the city. To give her closure,
I failed Kate, and I'm failing Cassandra. No, Michael, stop. I say firmly, stepping forward and placing a steadying hand on his trembling shoulder. You did better than your absolute best. You kept her safe when I couldn't. You are going to be the absolute best father in the entire world to her. Michael closes his eyes, swallowing hard, and offers me a small, grateful nod of appreciation. Go on inside, he whispers, stepping back. She's been waiting for you for 10 years. Her time is running out. I take a deep, stabilizing breath, trying to calm the frantic hammering of my pulse. My trembling fingers reach out, wrapping around the cold brass handle, and slowly turn the knob. I push the door open wide, stepping into the quiet room, and let the door click shut behind me.